In episode 6 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Darth Vader falls to his old master once again, failing to avenge his loss to Kenobi on Mustafar 10 years before. The first time these two met in this series, there was no contest. Obi-Wan was out of practice, his connection to the Force dramatically weakened after 10 years of exile. And Vader, who had become far more powerful than he was the last time they'd met, was focused, intent on finding Kenobi and making him pay for what he'd done to him all those years ago. But this time was different. Obi-Wan's power was back, his connection with the Force reminiscent of what it used to be. And after his initial failure to defeat Vader in this battle, as his old Padawan buried him and left him for dead, the Jedi Master dug even deeper, seemingly becoming stronger than he had ever been before. Ultimately, through an unmatched level of focus and determination, Obi-Wan Kenobi defeats Darth Vader once again, proving himself to still be the Master, and Vader the learner. But the reason for Kenobi's victory does not simply come down to him being more powerful than his adversary. In fact, the implication of the first half of this battle actually seems to be that Darth Vader is the more powerful individual at this stage in their lives, as he taunts Kenobi over his ever-present weakness before prematurely claiming victory over his old master. The level of power held by each of these characters is certainly close at this time, but in a vacuum, if they are not fighting each other specifically, Vader still appears to possess a stronger, more fine-tuned connection to the Force. The reason for his loss to Obi-Wan here is not about a lack of strength. It is partially about the level of power displayed by his master, which certainly catches Vader off guard, but even that is not the biggest factor. The crucial reason for Darth Vader's failure on this day is the impact that Obi-Wan has on his mentality. For 10 years, Vader has sought to bury his past, destroying any and everyone who reminded him of what he used to be, and by this time, he believes he has successfully separated himself from Anakin Skywalker. But in this series, and in this duel in particular, Obi-Wan proves him wrong. Unlike many Sith Lords and dark side Force users, Darth Vader is actually at his best when he is more calm and collected. His anger and his hatred are still there to fuel him, but he doesn't allow himself to lose complete control. That is a mistake that his former self often fell into, and a flaw that Darth Vader got rid of as he left Anakin behind. Or so he thought. But here, as this relic from his past rises and proves himself a worthy adversary, the untamed rage of Anakin Skywalker shines once more, as Vader reverts back to a more aggressive, less controlled fighting style. And this is the opponent who Obi-Wan knows like the back of his own hand, the apprentice whom he'd tried to steer away from these tendencies. Anakin's need to prove himself was his undoing, and here, as Vader is slowly beaten by Kenobi, that trait is pulled out of him once again, and Obi-Wan exposes it. When Obi-Wan shatters Vader's mask and reveals the man beneath, we see a flicker of conflict. It only lasts for a moment, but when Vader raises his head, his eyes are blue, indicating that the hatred has been temporarily suppressed, as a small tear wets Vader's cheek. But that brief moment of regret only reminds Vader of everything he has done, of everything that was done to him, and of everything Obi-Wan Kenobi represents. It reminds him of the weakness Obi-Wan has brought out of him and reignites his rage once more. And just like that, albeit defeated and helpless to chase after Kenobi, the relentless hatred of Darth Vader returns. The very reason for Vader's loss in the finale was foreshadowed by the flashback earlier in the series, in which the two figures recalled the sparring session where Obi-Wan ultimately bested Anakin due to his lack of patience and his need for victory. Darth Vader's big character arc in this series, the primary message that is driven home is that he has not truly let go of Anakin. His obsession with finding Kenobi for all these years shows how much he cares. It shows how much Obi-Wan continues to haunt him, and that inability to put his past behind him is a tremendous weakness highlighted by Darth Sidious as he speaks to his apprentice after his second loss to his former master. And so from that point of view, even after 10 years, Darth Vader has failed to fully realize his potential as a Sith Lord. He thought he'd put the past behind him, but the very presence of his old master and Obi-Wan's ability to truly challenge him in combat tugged at Anakin Skywalker, and reminded Vader, as well as Palpatine, that some things cannot be forgotten. Not because he regrets what he's done as Darth Vader. Vader truly believes that what he is doing is right, but because of his failure to erase the weaknesses of Anakin Skywalker. And in highlighting the persisting flaws of Anakin, the memories of the good man he used to be inevitably come out as well. And this is the impact that characters like Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and eventually Luke have on Vader. In Vader's mind, they must join him or be destroyed because he cannot allow his past to interfere with what he's trying to do now. So that's why Obi-Wan was able to defeat Darth Vader once again. He is the adversary who Vader must forget in order to fulfill his destiny as a Sith Lord. But he is also the one who Vader cannot let go because of the tremendous emotional and physical pain Kenobi has placed upon him. And so on that note, I am going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. As always, your support means the absolute world to me, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more of my content, remember to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time, remember, the Force will be with you, always.